You mentioned magnesium oxide, right, being used to address calcium deficiencies in dairy cows. How does this illustrate nature's ability to balance itself?
Well, I think the cow needs calcium, so they give it magnesium oxide. And magnesium and oxygen make calcium. So it goes into the gut, the biology in the gut go, calcium, we've been sent the information, we'll make calcium.
It's amazing how experts didn't understand that.
No.
Yeah. Anyway, so how does soil biology create nutrients through processes like transmutation?
Well,
soil biology.
This is the same thing as bioremediation, right? And this is where, they've had toxic waste dumps where they're full of arsenic and lead and all these other really nasty, and they go, what are we going to do with it? And some people have got really clever about this and they've put in the right fungal species and that, and then they cover it or leave it, and they go back and 6 months later and test it, and the arsenic's gone, lead's gone. The biology's had the opportunity, given the right food source and stimulation, and away you go. And
turn it into something else.
Yes, break the lead down to another element.
Because people think that once it's there, it can't go, right?
Yeah, well,
that's the impression you get.
Yeah, but nature looks after everything, given its
literally converts it into other substances.
Yeah, and what we found along that process of learning this is that if you put an electrical stimulation into those bioremediation, where you get up to 400, actually I've seen one paper that said up to 800% increase in biological activity. So you put all the waste in,
in other words, inefficiency.
Yeah, well,
increase in efficiency.
Yeah, and so they just put the waste out, they put food source, and they put some electrical current into it, and
Incredible.
And they just blew it to pieces. Well, blew it to pieces. I mean, they just broke all the chemicals and all the waste down, and all of a sudden everything's cool. And this is the way we need to look at a lot of the crazy things that we've done. Like in the effluent ponds and human effluents and that, there's huge amounts of issues, hormones, the pill, and all these things that are upsetting processes, and they say it can't be broken down, and going, anything can be broken down given the right opportunity. Stop trying to kill everything. And this is our attitude. It's like, kill it.
Instead of work its way through to a higher order substance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's look at it the other side and go, well, why don't we just take that and roll it forward, we'll aerate it, and then we'll add some other products, and then we'll just, maybe give it some molasses and sugar and some new fungi and then a bit of electricity, and that waste product's the most fabulous product to put in the garden. Oh, it was full of nasty chemicals. No, we've remedied it and put it back. We should stop putting the shit in our water anyway, but we should be far more observing of what happens when we put certain substances into processes. And what we have to look at is that biology in that is just mind-bogglingly healthy. And it will create all sorts of existences. My dad's already gone on. Back in the day, I remember the Tiara Meat Abattoir. It used to have a runoff into the Waiha River. And it was renowned for catching the biggest trout and the biggest eels, and that at the back of the abattoir.
Of course.
And so, but there was no toxins with it. So,
So they were well-fed fish.
Yeah, and what happened, the river was clean. I remember swimming in the Waiha River, and God, it was clean in the summertime. And this was before the predominant use of chemicals like Roundup and that came in. I would have been probably 13 or 14. Used to bike into town at Mace Road Bridge and swim there, and it was clean, and it was completely different to what we have. I remember catching trout in there that I never even could get back to the bank because they were that bloody big and just breaking your soul. So when we look at biology and look at what it does, it's called about putting things in order so that the biology can do it. We always want to make money out of it, but the reality is let the biology do it. You don't have to pay them. They're quite happy to work for nothing.
Yeah.
Just give us the right kit, we'll do it for you. So in soils, it is just like that. It is like, just give them the right ingredients and they'll build their own little city.
The biome, the bacteria, the fungi will do what it wants to do. What do you think the biggest misconceptions are about the roles of fungi and bacteria?
Oh, well, what they can actually do. I mean, this is the thing. It's like biological transmutation. What? They can do alchemy more than the scientists? That's a real Oh, that's terrible. You mean a fungi's got more brains than a scientist? That's a bit challenging.
True. So how do practices like herbicides disrupt their processes?
Well, if it's biological transmutation, you need the biology. Herbicides and that, kill them all off. And so there's no biology to actually do the transformation.
Yeah, okay. That
And
makes
so
sense.
straight away, then I've got to buy some fertilizer because I haven't got enough nutrient recycling in my soils to make it work properly.
Yeah. So tell me about the lessons learned from orchards.
Well, that's certainly the kiwifruit was the greatest one because it just showed me how if it was left alone or, if it was running properly and the nutrient could be recycled and up came the potassium created by the sugars going down and telling the biology, I need this, and send it back up. And then the kiwifruit guys, they girdle it so they stop the sugars going down. And then from that, we increase the sugar of the plant so then we get a better fruit. And I'm going, you've forgotten the major part, that they needed the mineral to give you better quality fruit for better storage and better Brix level and better everything else. And you'd sacrifice it to hold the sugar in the plant.
Did that cause malnutrition and disease?
Well, this is
plant?
At that stage when we were dealing with some kiwifruit guys, and I was saying to them, we have to stop this craziness. We've got to stop the high cane. We've got to stop this. Otherwise, something's going to go haywire. And I just walked away from them. I just said, look, if you want me to come and try and help you and you keep doing this, I can't help you. And therefore, I'm not going to be bound up in your disasters. Well, I think it was about 12, 18 months later, PSA. And what's happening now is we're getting inquiry from people that have gone through this whole process and going, it's not working.
So they've come out the shitty end of things like PSA. Can you describe for people what that is? PSA?
It's a bacterial attack. It's a
to be honest, they're actually describing it for me. So.
Yeah, it's a bacterial attack, and it just causes mayhem in the plant. It's just meaning it's sick. It hasn't got the right nutrition, inability to function properly, just like us.
Keen to dive deeper? Check out our audiobook and EcoFarmer's Discovery on Spotify, or grab our free ebook, The 6 Things You Need to Improve Soil and Farm Profit. Links in the description.